All right, here we are. Another week around the trash fire. Your host, Matthias, along with the boy.
John.
Well, there it is. Warhammer Fest has happened. Lots, lots of reveals.
Yeah, lots of really good reveals. I actually really like this is one of my favorite events that they revealed or previews, I guess, that they've had in a while.
Well, I mean, it's Warhammer Fest. I would hope they would pull out all the big guns for this event.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got all that. There's not even that many filler news to go through. So there's a lot to talk about, though. So let's just go ahead and get through our filler news, starting with the good old. It is May, which means we have our new model of the month and coin. And the model is in Arbites. So if you want more, or you just want a Arbites, go ahead and go to your local GW. I don't know how this still you gotta spend $100 to get this stuff.
The Arbites?
Yeah.
No, that's free. The model is free. You could show up, not give them any money, and get a free mini.
Okay, there you go. Get the Arbites, and then the coin, blah blah blah, the paint, blah blah, is the Gallifal coin, which we'll get into more detail about that later. But
that one requires $100.
Yes. But that is the month of May coming up. Very nice new model. But moving on to the Sunday preview, let's get this going. We're finally getting the Yellowfall kill team box of the Squats versus the Beastmen. So that's coming out. Not gonna go over the models. We've gone over the models already previous episode, but good to see this is coming out. Get the terrain. The RBD squad kill team is getting their own box now that you don't have to buy the 2-player starter set. So that's good. I am surprised that they're not selling the upgraded Dark Eldar kit with
Yeah,
this.
very true.
But that's
I wonder
okay.
why. I wonder if it'll come in a later date. Probably, I mean, it has to, right?
Probably when they get their codex. Would be my guess. Because that's what they did with the Eldari, the
Corsairs.
Corsairs. Yes. We're also getting the Felgor Ravagers dice set as well. Not bad looking. It's definitely what I expect of my custom dice there. I think the Titanicus, something I haven't heard of in a while. We're getting stratagem cards for the loyalists and the traders. And well, you'd have to tell me, John, because I know you haven't played much recently, but stratagems like in 40k right now.
Yeah, I mean it's there's not a million of them, but even if there are, it's a narrative game. So I mean, if you like cards, they're worth getting. If you're like me and you don't like cards in your non-card war, actually, I don't think I like cards in any war game, to be quite honest, anymore. So I play Magic for my cardness. But I mean, if you like cards, they're worth it. If not, then no need to pick them up. I guess the open engine war. That's probably the neatest use of cards, I think, for me in war games is creating missions like Warcry. I love the card system for that, but the stratagems and stuff, if you like them, get them. If you don't, no need.
Alrighty then. So not a mandatory thing to get.
No.
Excellent. Because we'll talk more about cards later on. Blood Bowl, the Skinks are coming out finally. We got some Wither Grabs double drool.
Yeah, these Blood Bowl models are like one of those not Blood Bowl models in the sense that you could use them for your other war games like Warcry or AOS, and it'll fit. So I like them.
Alrighty. We got that. Black Library. We got the Leviathan Omnibus coming out. Get all those Tyranid stories for the Great Leviathan that is coming out in June. Pilgrims of Fire, softcover digital and audiobook. Outgun, the this is the story that came out with Aeronautica, right?
Yeah, I think it's in paperback. No. Yeah, in paperback.
In paperback. Got a Catechin book going into German. Castrican book in French. Horus Heresy Omnibus in French. And Warhammer Plus. Just getting lore masters on the Bone Reapers and a battle report with the new Underworld's Zinch team. And I think that's it. That is it. That is it for the filler news. So, the big juicy news here. Warhammer Fest. Now, usually I segment the show into stuff that I feel is, the weakest part of the show, and then build up to what I think is the greatest. But instead, we're just gonna do reveal as they happened. So we're just gonna start with day one, which was 40K, Underworlds, and what was the other one?
Warcry?
Warcry, yes, thank you. So, of course, the first one to get revealed was 40K. We got the reveal box of the Leviathan, which I think the price was leaked. It's going to be $245 USD.
Oh, it's cheaper than I thought. Heck yeah.
For, 25 Marines and 47 Tyranids. So that's 72 models. Unless I did my math wrong there. Pretty good stuff. And of course, the Tyranids got a bunch of new looking models. And so did the Space Marines. Looking nice. So we got our first look at the Terminator Captain. Which is, oh god, I'm trying to think. When's the last time we've even had a Terminator Captain?
A long time ago. This is a 5 out of 5 for me. I'm super excited about this model. Hasn't been very popular from what I've heard, but I am of the side that I really like this model, especially because he's so chunky like the new Terminators. And I cannot wait to paint him in the bone color of the Deathwing. And maybe this one will be Deathwing, and when it comes out separately, like maybe if there's a multi-kit, that man will be Black Templars. But yeah, super excited for this model.
Yeah, it looks nice. We got that. We got the Librarian that they've shown off a couple weeks, 2 weeks ago.
Kind of sucks that him and the previous captain does not have a helmet, but it's easily fixed with bits and stuff.
We could put helmets on. No worries. That can always be fixed. We're getting the new Apothecary model. Not much to say. Just an apothecary, really.
It's interesting because in the stream they mentioned he doesn't heal people. He actually does other things. It kind of involves the enemy, like getting samples from the enemy and buffing his friends. So I do wonder how that's going to work rules-wise, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it looks cool. Gravis Apothecary.
I did not watch the stream. I'll preface that now. It's kind of working or falling asleep.
I stayed up for it. I think it was worth the hype for this box set.
So we got that. We got the Lieutenant, which we knew was going to be part of the Leviathan thing.
He looks kind of out of place for me. I do wish that there was more like him, because the lore is that the Space Marines in the box go to this planet where there's this fight going on with the Tyranids, and the Tyranids are winning. And this guy, the Lieutenant, was kind of the last survivor of the previous wave of, or previous Ultramarines who were there. So he's kind of just trying to survive without backup, and finally he gets backup. I do wish he came with like a squad of veterans or something, because he really looks out of place by himself in the box. He's a cool model, but just one, the armor, he's the only Phobos one. He's the only one with like Tyranid bit strapped on and all that. Again, he's a cool model, but I really wish there was more of him in the box.
It would be nice. It would be very cool to have like a whole Phobos squad, like a 5-man squad.
Yeah, like a 5-man
with a
squad
bunch
with
of Tyranid bits all over
bits.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But we got him. We got our new Sterngard models here. Up to scale. So that's nice.
These are effing pimp as hell. I am in love with these models. These are one of the models, along with the Terminators. Like, yeah, I'm getting this box for sure. I mean, I'm splitting it with our buddy Will, but yeah, these guys really make me want the Space Marine side and the Terminators, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, these are amazing. Now, unfortunately, they are monopose, so if you have more than one set of these guys, they'll have some clones. So I'll only pick up one set for my Dark Angels as company Sterngard veterans. But I am in love with these models.
These are nice, but of course we got the Terminators.
Oh, also super cool. We've talked about them before, and man, they are great.
They are what they're finally meant to be, not hunched over power armor boys. Now they're up there standing tall and being menacing looking. But we got them, and then the squad I'm most excited about, the Infernus squad.
Oh, interesting.
Well, John, I mean, in my heart, I'm a Salamanders person.
Mm.
I just like the aesthetics of the Black Templar more, which
That's
is
fair.
why I would go Black Templar. But I do like me a bunch of flamers, which is why I also go redemptionist, because they specialize in flaming and purging and everything. So these guys are gonna fit well in my Black Templar army, and I believe this is the I want to say Purist Flamer, but that doesn't sound right. What is this called?
Pyroblaster.
Pyroblaster, which was the weapon, the relic flamer that you could get for Black Templars, which was only unique to them. So now looks like they're gonna have a whole squad of Pyrrhic blasters. So
yeah, I kind of don't care about these guys. Now, I'm not mad that they're there. I'm not like, oh, they should have been another thing. I mean, they're fine. I think it's a good way to differentiate them from intercessors. It's super 30k because 10-man squad with the same special weapon is a thing in Horus Heresy and has been for a while. So more taking inspiration there in the Primaris, for Primaris, I mean. But yeah, if I'm just okay with them, nothing too exciting for me. I'm glad that I'm glad people like them, like you, Matt, and good for you guys, right? But I think I'll just build 5 and keep the rest on sprue because, yeah, again, they're cool, but I'm not the biggest flamer honcho out there.
I
Yeah,
love me
they're
my
they're cool, they're neat.
flamers.
I'm not nothing more. I'm not too excited about them. Not too. Don't hate them. They're just cool.
Well, I enjoy it. It reminds me of my big 10-man Burna Boys back in the day.
There you go.
The good old Talos spam, where you just spam the oh god, their flamers. Those were good. I'm just a big fan of flamers. Though I guess with the new flamer rules, don't know how effective they will really be, but now that you don't get that auto hit. But this is cool. I like it. Moving on. We're getting a classic Dreadnought. Classic Dreadnought design. This is going to be the Ballistus Dreadnought, armed with some twinly glass cannons and the classic missile launchers. One that's primarily just shooting. So this will be your anti-tank Dreadnought here. How do you feel about it?
This is gonna sound so bad. I never thought they could make the Redemptor boring, and they made the Redemptor boring. This guy is the definition of just me.
I agree with that. I can
He's
agree
just
with that
so
statement.
bland. And they teased his. I think they were leaked. I think his rules were leaked by playtesters at Warhammer Fest because they were playtesting the game and for the public. And yeah, he just has a twin link glass cannon that he could re-roll and a missile launcher. And there's nothing cool. There's no like, if you stand still, you double tap, or you something, right? It's funny because the other Redemptors have guns on the back, and people are like, "Oh man, the Redemptor has too many weapons." There's like a missile launcher in the back. This is the kind of Redemptor I wish they had a gun on his like back carapace or whatever, or give him more guns or something, because he looks quite boring to me, in all honesty. I wish there was more. And like I mentioned, even his rules aren't that interesting. Now, I'm glad I have one. I'm not going to sell him. I don't hate him, but he does not excite me in the way like the Brutalist does, with the double claws and the guns in his claws and the Melta chest cannons. Yeah, this guy is just kind of there. So, I mean, worst case, I'll convert him into a regular Redemptor because I have bits for that for my Dark Angels. Because yeah, this guy is just not doing it for me. He's just kind of, yeah, cool. All right, it's kind of me.
I agree with your statement. I'm not a big fan of the Dreadnought,
Yeah,
but it's
again, I don't hate
there.
him. I don't think you hate him either. But we don't love him. It sounds like.
Yeah, like I said, he just harkens back to just the classic Dreadnought with the twin glass cannon and a missile launcher. Just a bit bigger now, and under a different name. Moving on from him, we got the Bugs. Wing-tiered Prime. Talked about that last week. We'll just move on from that. Neurotyrant. We got ourselves a new psychic Zoanthrope, I would assume. Focusing known for
He's
Strange
no more
Powers.
like a Hive Tyrant almost. He's like a Hive Tyrant Zoanthrope type thing. So he's the main HQ actually in the box. He's the equivalent of the Terminator Captain. And I do like how he's a psyker. I think this is the first time in a while that the starter set bad guy wasn't a melee beat stick. Or they weren't both melee beat sticks in like Lord of Contagion or the Chaos Lord, Space Marine Captain. This guy is not someone you want in the front lines fight 1v1ing the enemy commander. He wants to stay in the back, buffing his bug friends and blasting the enemy with psychic energy. So I do like that kind of change in game and thematic design. And it's just a cool model. He got the double jaws, got the giant brain. He looks like the second edition Zoanthrope with that Triceratops looking crown. and you got little buggos nearby who help him control his power. Yeah, this is great. And again, I really like model is cool, but I really like the design they went for thematically with again not having a melee beat stick and having a more back support slash offensive psychic creature.
Yeah, I really enjoy this model design. Just because, I mean, one is different. You know, I don't really have anything like this in 40k right now. Some kind of squid monster. And yeah, this is very terrifying. I wouldn't want to see this on the battlefield. But very cool model. I'm going to just say this outright right now. I think all the Tyranid stuff is very well done. I don't know how John feels about it, but I think
Oh,
they're really well
100%.
done.
I think I'm getting this box for the Space Marines, but I think overall the Tyranids do blow the Space Marines out of the water in terms of just having knocking it out of the park overall.
Yep. Well, we
Like I
got
mean, I think the worst model is the Tyranid Prime, and he's cool to me. The rest are just amazing.
I could agree with that, but I think the Tyranid Prime's just fine. But moving on, we got the Screamer Killer featured in the cinematic as well. We do have some rules for him. I've got its own article where we'll briefly touch over soon, but here we go. We're gonna get this bad boy. We got the Von Ryan Leapers, which I believe we talked about.
Yeah, they were previewed before.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I just couldn't remember. The Lictor, the little Lictors.
Yeah.
So we got them coming out, and of course the Termagants, along with the Ripper Swarm, finally being previewed after some people made some guesses about it. But yeah, there we go. And then the Neurogants. So we got some like little doggo bugs.
It's interesting because these are kind of between a Ripper and a Gaunt, so they're worse than Gaunt in terms of the hierarchy in the Tyranid food chain, but they're more than Rippers. And they're just they're kind of their job is kind of like Tyrant Guard where they protect the Synapse creatures, but they're not beefy like Tyrant Guard, because I believe Tyrant Guard only really protect Hive Tyrants, but these will protect your primes or your other Synapse creatures like Tyranid Warriors and all that. And yeah, it's kind of interesting that they made something that's like a Hormagaunt but isn't. Now this doesn't. It's not going to replace Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts will be getting new models with when the main Tyranid launch happens after the edition drops. Kind of like how Necron's got a bunch of redos and new units. So it's kind of a cool new design, and they're great. It's a different kind of Tyranid than we've seen. So yeah, happy with those.
Yep, we're looking good. Tyranid's eating good. And then we got the Barbgaunts. It's like a lesser version of the what's the artillery one that shoots the spores?
Biovore.
Yeah, looks like a mid evolution of the Biovore with the big cannon on their back there.
Yeah, this is an interesting model for sure. It's kind of weird, but in a good way. I initially didn't like it, but the more I look at it, the more, especially with a different angle, they initially showed just their left side, but now having seeing the right side, it's I really like the design. Like kind of almost having a 360 view of it. Kind of odd that the arm stuck to the carrying the weapon. I kind of imagine the weapon would just be in their back, but it's weird and creepy in a cool Tyranid way. So
That's
plus
that's them
extra points
adapting.
for that. And they're big. They're on Terminator bases, 40 mils.
I'd hope so.
No, they are. They confirmed they are on 40mm bases.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we got them. We got how do you say this? Psychophage.
This is the Psychophage ship.
Just got a giant spider. Giant angry spider is what I'm seeing here.
Oh yeah, and yeah, he eats psychers. It's a big model too. That's something that I believe this box has done better than all the other previous starter sets. Is the big centerpiece models. We haven't seen really anything as big as the Screamer Killer, as the Psychophage, as the Ballistus Dreadnought in a starter set. Before we'd have stuff like the Bloat Drone or the Canoptic thing that repairs Necrons that kind of sucks. Yeah, I think they nailed it with that kind of centerpiece vibe with these forces, and I think that's really needed for a starter set. You know, this is someone's first introduction to Warhammer 40,000, and having these big, beefy monsters and robots is, I think, great.
And that's why it's $240 or $45.
Yep.
It's gonna be big. A lot of plastic. And then I think that's it. That is it on the model side. Of course, you're going to get the rulebook, some what do they call those things? Objective cards and transfer sheets for the Space Marines. Blah, 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 blah. You can discover the Tyrannic War with the Leviathan book that's coming out. Kind of like what they did with the Indominus Crusade with what was the book between Rabute and Mortarion?
Dark Imperium?
Dark Imperium sounds
Plague
right.
War? I think it's Plague War.
Hold on, here I have it as everything goes. As my computer's messing up here. Yeah, Dark Imperium. Dark Imperium was the right word. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see how this goes out. And then they gave us a roadmap for the codexes. So Leviathan coming in summer, which is actually just going to be June. And then in autumn, we're going to get, of course, Tyranids and Space Marines. And then after them, in winter, we'll get Mechanicus and Necrons. And then in spring, we'll get Dark Angels, Orcs, Custodians, Tau, and Chaos Space Marines.
Did they confirm each of these codex releases will come with at least one model? In the case of Space Marines and Tyranids, we'll see a bunch of new models. Not sure if that'll extend to the other armies. Crossing my fingers, Dark Angels will get cool new Dark Angel units, but we will see what that'll bring. Very least the new HQ. And still waiting for the Lion to come out by himself.
Well, you know, the easiest thing for them to do is release a character model. I mean, that's, you know, that's why there's so many Primaris Lieutenants, right? It's the easiest model to release. And they'll just say, like, our job here is done. We gave them one new model. But I hope, like you said, that they give us something interesting. And not just a character model. But we'll have to wait and see. And that is that. So that was a big release right there. Of course, there is other things. Like, they go over the Space Marine stuff. We're just going to look at what these things can do here. We already saw all the models. So the Infernus Squad, they show us what their Pyblasters can do. Standard Flamer, D6 attacks, Strength 5, AP 0. Basically, they get the rule purge the foe. Anyone attacked by the Infernus Squad, has to take a battle shock test. So It's a good way to knock someone off an objective if you're trying to take an objective from them. Scoring them 0 points on there. And then the Dreadnought, John talked a little bit about it, saying it's not very interesting on what it has. Its special rules, Ballistic Strike. Each time the attack made with range attacks against a unit below half strength, you can reroll a hit roll. Reroll the hit roll. So, oh, sorry. I skipped the keyword there. Not below half strength. You can reroll a hit roll. So, I mean, it has some benefit to it with the reroll, but not good enough. And then going by its its weapon profile here, frag missiles will be 2d6 attacks, strength 5, 1 damage. The crack missile will be strength 10, d6 damage. And the last cannon will be strength 12, AP3, d6 plus 1. Now, off the top of your head, is the last cannon right now d3 plus 3, or is it just d6?
I think it's d6. I don't know. The guard one would be different. I haven't checked.
Okay, I can't really remember because I don't use last cannons, and not many people do use last cannons, so probably because it is d6 damage. But that is that. That's the Space Marines. The Tyranids, a little more interesting. We got the Screamer Killer, who has a range attack as it screams at you. Range 18, d6 plus 3 attacks. Strength 8, AP2, 1 damage. And it's
such a great model. I like how it's a copy paste of the old Screamer Killer, except brought to a new world of miniature design. Yeah, this is great. Can't wait to see him on the table. And he's freaking huge. And I love that he has 10 attacks.
Yep, his claws, his talons, actually 10 attacks, strength 10, AP2, 3 damage. So he's definitely gonna kill whatever he gets in contact with. And just like the pie blasters, if he screams at someone, they do have to take a battle shock test. If they fail, they are, they lose their objective control points. Except this is a little bit better because they subtract 1 from their leadership test there. Okay, and then I think, is there any more datasheet rules here? No. So that is all the information they gave us on the Tyranids. And that was the big 40k news. And unfortunately, just Friday, the 40k news just pretty much blew everything out of the water. Because I didn't really care about anything else that I read that day. Case in point.
Really, that's kind of shocking considering some of the announcements they made.
On Friday?
Oh, on Friday, excuse me. You're right. Friday, 40k demolished everything in terms of hype, for sure.
Yeah. Case in point, looking at the next thing, Underworlds. We got Nagash. We got Nighthaunt. And as someone who plays Nighthaunt and usually likes the Underworld models, I don't care too much for this. I mean, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good, but I do not care too much for this.
Yeah, they're good, but they're not hype, for sure.
And that's the problem when you're following up the 40k news. But I'll give it its due. Again, the models are good. I might pick it up. But following that 40k, no way they were going to win. And then, no. It was Lord of the Rings. Yes, Lord of the Rings was that day. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings, we got that famous scene from the first movie where everyone's hiding underneath the tree and the ring wraith is right above them trying to look for them. And that is all Lord of the Rings got, which, I mean, a cool set piece, cool little
Right.
thing you put on your table for people to look at and stuff.
I'm getting angry now. This is an amazing scene that I think they did great justice in miniature form. It captures it's like I said, it's a classic scene. The ring wraith looks dope. Hobbits, yeah, cool, they're hobbits, right? But again, they're part of the scene, so I like them. Now for the angry stuff. This is the only announcement they made for Lord of the Rings. This is a game where there's a bunch of a bunch of units with rules but no model. There's a bunch of just resin models that need to be updated because they're old and they need plastic. And this thing is a Forge World resin kit, so it's probably going to be like $900. That's going to be like 100 something, or could be 200. I don't know, something stupid expensive because it's Forge World resin. Yeah, if I played, I barely kind of dabble in Lord of the Rings, and this made me kind of mad. Like that's it. This is it. It's nothing else. It's a cool looking scene, but it's Forge World, and that's it. Nothing, no book, no nothing, no other mini. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I think my prediction for Lord of the Rings was everything was going to go to plastic. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I was very disappointed. I mean,
this is the opposite of that. This is a resin thing.
yeah, this is.
Oh, Forge World.
I like scrolled through the article multiple times. I'm like, where's everything else? And yeah, this is it. This is all we get. Like we said, it's a good model. It's a good looking model. No one's gonna deny it. But as a Lord of the Rings player, it's very disappointing to see that we didn't to see that you didn't get anything at all. So maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next Warhammer Fest we'll get better love than this. But that was day 1. Again, anything that was following 40k day didn't stand a chance. 40k might as well have had its own day, just so it didn't overshadow everything. But you know, with time constraints, they gotta make sure they get everything in. So moving on to the next day, Saturday, we got Warcry. Wait, or was Warcry Friday?
I think Warcry was still Friday.
Warcry was Friday? Okay. Warcry, we got the next 2-player box set. We got the Sigmarines, which are okay. Pretty generic looking, in my opinion. Not much standing out there. And then we got the ghouls, which I think you called, right? Didn't you say that they were going to be ghouls?
No, this whole box was leaked a while ago. I'm shocked that they didn't address it because they usually address leaks.
Oh.
But there were blurry pictures of this a month ago and super silence from GW. But now they revealed it now, just as they planned originally, I'm sure. And yeah, the Stormcast look neat. You know, nothing too exciting, nothing too lame. But the ghouls are quite awesome. I love those undead baboons and the leader with his kind of quasi armor and the gear they all have. This is pretty sweet, I will say.
Yeah, the ghouls look nice. We also get, you know, the set pieces, some like pyramid thing. Forest, you know, not too much terrain in Warcry. Yeah, well, in this Warcry set. So, bit barren, because I know it's gonna cost a lot of money. The last one cost like $200, and it wasn't that much terrain.
It was like 160.
Yeah, but GW prices have gone up since then. So,
No, it's still 160.
oh, all right then.
Yeah, yeah. No, the starter main starter set is 200, but the expansion sets are only not only, but quote unquote only 160 or
Got it.
180 or something. It's not 200.
We got that. We also got a roadmap as well for Warcry. So, spring we'll get this box set. Summer we'll get another starter set for new players. Autumn, 4 new warbands. I guess Order versus Destruction. I don't know if it's gonna be 2 and 2. 2 Order, 2 Destruction. We'll get 2 new warbands again, Order and Death, and then 2 new warbands in spring of next year. So we got it all planned out for us. Well, I'm hoping this doesn't bite them like it did last time, you know? Though usually the Warcry Underworlds roadmaps have usually gone pretty smoothly for them. It was that 40k one that really took a hit when they did that roadmap. But there we go. Now that's all Friday. We can move on to Saturday, which was Old World, Age of Sigmar, and something else. So, moving on. John, here's your hype. You got your Cities of Sigmar on horses. Is this what you wanted? I know you wanted more, but you got something. You got the HD horses, the HD banners. A little nod to good old Karl Franz right there.
You talking about the Cities of Sigmar stuff?
Yes, I am.
Oh, dude, it is super hype. I am very happy, and I'm for sure. I was already committed to this army, as I've said a million times in person and in this cast. But oh yeah, I am super committed to this army. Those cavalry dudes are exactly what I wanted. I was actually looking at some art for Warhammer Fantasy Empire over the weekend before this dropped, and I'm like, man, those knights look super cool. And bam, they revealed some kick-ass new knights, and I am very pleased.
I knew you would be. But I was hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah, I do wish they announced more, but it's okay.
You know, they gotta wait for that big box drop. Cause you know, AOS. It's very limited units. They don't bloat their book up. So they probably can't do too much of a reveal. So
Yeah, considering it's still a good ways off. I believe they're coming out after 10th edition drops, so they don't want to reveal everything just yet.
of
I
course.
want to save that.
Of course. What else do we got here? We got AOS book was also revealed. The new campaign, Dawnbringer. So we're gonna be following the good old Harbinger of Decay, and they gave us a pretty no pun intended here, sick looking model. I actually really enjoy this.
Yeah, it's a throwback to the old Nurgle Chaos Lord from Warhammer Fantasy, another HD remake, more or less, and he looks great.
It's an amazing looking model.
Yeah, I do like how it's not the traditional kind of Nurgle, like bloated organs everywhere kind of look. He looks like it's the Reaper aspect, kind of like Mortarian vibes in a great way. So
yeah, it's a nice model, very cool looking. But we got that as well as the book. We also got a ghoul as well,
Another
mimicking
ghoul.
him. Yeah, another ghoul with his scythe and very colorful base there. Didn't expect to see this, but you know, very cool model. Flesh Eater Courts is getting good here. Getting a lot of new models, a lot of new character models here.
Yeah, they're seeing new units. Like most armies, like cool new character, like yeah, but we want more units, please.
No, that's always been the problem with AOS. Like I said,
Yeah,
they just have limited units. It's almost character hammer with how many characters they have.
I know, right?
We got that. We got the Grimhold Exile, which I don't really care about because just a
It's
dwarf.
very generic in the Fire Slayer grand scheme of things.
Yeah, we got that going. We got Rabble Raza, which is a not as bad as the Fire Dwarf. At least
Yeah,
it's creative with its little squig bats and giant orc skull helmet. So, or squig skull, sorry, not orc skull. So, I let this one pass. And then I think and then they show off the box sets that these models will be a part of. So, the Blight Kings, the Flesh Eater Courts, the Fire Slayers, of course, and uh Gloomspite, right? Is that what the
yep,
goblin's
Gloomspite.
called? Okay.
That's correct.
All those box sets coming out, as well as once again them showing off a roadmap. So summer we'll get lizards, the Dawnbringer, or sorry, Harbingers, and the General Handbook, which is on brand because I think they're updating that every 6 months, right? If I recall, the General Handbook,
Yes,
or is that every
yes.
year?
Like I think it's every 6 months.
Every 6 months.
Could be wrong, but
And then in autumn, as we will never see John again as he gets his City of Sigmar. We'll get a book 2 focusing on the destruction forces, it looks like. And then whatever book 3 is. And then in winter, we'll get book 4 and I assume an order army. I don't really know what that red book is.
I think it's just generic army. Or it could be, yeah, it might be generic, especially with the next reveal. I think it's just a generic cover.
Just a generic cover? Okay.
Yeah.
Well then. That is AOS roadmap and future box sets coming out here. We also got this orc hog revealed. It's a monstrous creature. I mean the mega orcs always look cool, but I don't know. I'm not feeling this model too much.
I
I don't
think
know
it's
why.
cool. My buddy who plays Iron Jaws is super hyped for it, but I'm not sure if it's because it's I think it's I think it's a cool model, and it's something Iron Jaws do need, which is another. I mean, one, they need a range unit, unfortunately, which they don't have yet. But it is a big giant monster that's not Maw Crusher size, and kind of will look cool next to some Gore Gruntas. But that said, I'm not sure if people are hyped because it's that, or or because it's an Iron Jaws release after years of not really getting anything substantial. So, yay for Iron Jaws players. Be nice if they got more than just this. Now, again, I personally really like this model, and it does fit their army quite a bit. I will say the guys on the side could probably just be on their own base. Their poses are very kind of you could just put them on a base and they'll fit in quite nicely. But yeah, I like it, and I wish there was more.
That's what all AOS players say. I wish there was more.
Yeah, they're really hesitant on just blowing their load on a big release.
Just because all the resources are going into City of Sigmar. That's the big
I know, right?
load.
Think which I'm totally fine with, not complaining.
Well, that is all the AOS. If I recall, let me just take a quick look here. Yes, that is all the AOS. Old World is next, and if I recall, my prediction was a release date. Do you remember your prediction?
My prediction was models for Tomb Kings and Bretonia. So
I don't think I heard you say Tomb Kings, but yes, we did get a Tomb King model confirmation here. And this is the look of him.
yeah, we got a 2023 Tomb King. I really like him. You play Tomb Kings. What do you think?
I'm a bit mixed right now.
Ooh.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I'm happy that we're getting more Tomb Kings. We're gonna get our HD models updated finally, like they should. But there's just something's off on the model, and I just can't place my finger on it just yet. Like aesthetically, it
Could be
looks
the
good.
angle.
I mean, it could be, or maybe I'm just too used to the old style, and I just can't get past it. But I mean, I will not fault it. It is a good model. It is very Tomb King like. Would I pick it up? I probably would. I probably would pick this up.
He is resin, by the way.
I retract my statement. I will not be picking this up.
He's actually specifically Forge World resin.
Yep. See, you couldn't have said a word more volatile than Forge World resin. Because that just sealed the deal that I'm not going to pick this up.
Now, I will say that he's really cool, and I would kind of want him. I hope they redo Cetra in this kind of new style. I would definitely pick that up because Cetra is a great character. And they confirmed that they will be bringing back some old Tomb Kings. Like the picture they showed was the Necrosphinx will be returning / Hierosphinx.
Good.
And I mean, we already saw them bringing back Bretonnian models, but yeah, they confirmed that the Necrosphinx, Hierosphinx will come back. Hopefully, Tomb Guard, like I mentioned before, and the Sepulchral Stalkers / Necropus Knights. That would be great.
Those
And
are
I think they will.
all great
They're
models.
newer plastic models, so
All great models. But we also got the Bretonnian guy with his sword into an orc head.
yes.
And I don't know. It's just weird to see Bretonnian not mounted on a horse.
That's true. And he looks incredibly generic in the way Bretonnians are in general supposed to be generic, which is a good thing for Bretonnian fans. But he just looks like your bog standard D&D. I mean, without the orc, he would fit in quite easily at a historical medieval French army or something. I mean, he does have some fantasy elements on him, but for the most part, he looks like a real world knight, which is kind of what Bretonnians are, like I mentioned. Can't really complain because most of the complaints I hear about this model are just would apply to Bretonnians in general. Like I said, if you complain he's generic, well, that's what Bretonnians are supposed to be. In the way Empire kind of is generic, so it's doing its job. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can say about this guy. I mean, glad Bretonians are getting the first new model in decades. Crazy that I'm saying decades there because it is decades.
It's true. It's true. They didn't even get anything in no. Yeah, 6th, 7th, or 8th. If I recall correctly. That's when I started playing, at least. So, yeah, crazy. But that is Old World. So, no release date.
No release date. They
I,
did say that they will not get a starter set treatment like 40k and AOS, but they implied it will get a giant box set treatment like Horus Heresy, and they'll be kind of bringing back battle forces for specific armies. And they also said that, as the models hinted at, that the first major support will go to Tomb Kings and Bretonia.
well, hey, can't complain about that. I do hope they give us new skeleton models, though.
I hope so. Those old ones are garbage, and I think are the reason that army was killed.
uh, I would be inclined to agree. Because I hated putting together all those scorpions. I mean,
Yeah, and in
skeletons.
fantasy, half your army was your core choices. So if your core choices were terrible, like skeletons, in terms of the model quality, yeah, that's a turnoff.
Yeah, it was bad. Putting together 100 archers and having to glue the torso to the leg with like no proper support, like no socket to insert them into. Ugh, that was awful. And then the most common part of the skeleton snapping, torso and legs. Hated it. Hated every one of them. But yeah, big news. Big win for the Tomb Kings coming back. We all knew they were very popular. All very sad when they weren't in AOS, but at least they're coming back now. Confirmation. Moving on to that, we got your favorite game system, 30K, with the plastic, what is this, Sarastas Knight Lancer?
Yeah, the worst news out of 30k, mainly because I just don't care.
Oh,
I really don't care about knights anymore. I had my knight phase. Also, knights. Like, I look at this guy, and I know 30k is a narrative game. Don't get me wrong, but I look at this guy, and it's like, yeah, he'll die to a contemptor in melee, which just makes me sad.
that is pretty
But I mean, it's
sad.
a cool model. If you like knights, he's plastic, easier to build, easier to pose. Doesn't explode as easily when you drop it. Don't drop your models, folks. But yeah, I mean, good for the people who like knights. I am not one of them, but I'm again another one of those. Not for me. Glad it exists.
It's a dub for the community.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
That's all I can say about it because I don't know anything about the Knights. So there we go. That's
Side
coming
note:
up.
it is dope that the pilots in there. I really like that.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
it's a nice little touch for the people who paint the inside of the cockpit for some reason
all right.
to something you won't even see unless you deliberately leave it open. But on to the thing that you wanted most, though it was oddly specific. We do have plastic assault marine squads being launched for Horus Heresy.
It's funny that you mentioned oddly specific because the oddly specific complaints are the only reason they revealed this because it's not painted, it's not even produced. It's just a 3D mock-up of this unit that the community, including myself, has just bitched about so much for just specific unit that they're like, fine, we're gonna make them. They're gonna come out in December. Here's the 3D mock-ups. Now shut up. So yes, I am satisfied. I already have assault marines for my blood angels. But hey man, my future projects are gonna have these plastic dudes. Hooray. So I am pleased. A lot of people are pleased, except for the people who hate Mark 6, but oh well, too bad. That said, yes, I'm happy with this one. And then, are you gonna? Do you want me to just keep going with this article?
Keep going.
All right, this next image is actually my favorite part of this whole reveal. So this is the next box set for Heresy. It has Land Raider. We already have, right? And we got some new Mark III in the new scale, which is interesting because we already got Mark III in plastic. I'm shocked they didn't do a new Mark like Mark II or Mark V, but it's a redesign of Mark III, and I really like them. Mark III is not probably my least favorite armor mark, but this makes me want to pick them up for my future Horus Heresy Dark Angels project. I love the spike helmet. That's a nod to like the first few arts of Mark III because the ones that came out a few years ago didn't have the spike helmet, but I'm glad they're bringing that back. And yeah, you could tell that's the new scale. They don't look as squatty and stocky as the old Marines. Yeah, I like these. And at the background, we got a plastic Derodeo Dreadnought. And
Yep.
that's probably one of my favorite Dreadnought designs next to the Contemptor and Leviathan. And yeah, I am excited because the issue I have with the Derodeo Dreadnought is that the guns really get floppy in resin, which you gotta bend and straighten with hot water or a hair dryer, and even then it may not even go on straight. So I'm glad it's gonna be in plastic. I am definitely picking this box set up because, as you guys know, I am a Horus Heresy fanatic, but I am quite happy about the models they put in the box. So that's awesome. This is super exciting for me. And then we got a roadmap for Heresy. So we got the Vindicator Siege Tank and the resin characters we're going to talk about later in the spring. In the summer, we got Night Lancer and some more upgrades and special characters. Or not special, regular characters. Autumn, we're going to get plastic Lords of War, probably the Fellblade and the Glaive, like the Space Marine Blade chassis type vehicles. We're going to get the new Dreadnought, which is, I believe, that's the Derodeo in the picture above, and an Armor Mark update, which is the Mark III that is above. New Primarch is coming, redoing a Primarch. So they confirmed it is not going to be the Khan on bike, which sucks. And they kind of hinted it's going to be a Trader Primarch because they said like, oh, it's a Primarch that experiences some corrupted changes during the heresy. My guess it's going to be Lorgar because Lorgar is the other Primarch other than Horus that has two sets of rules ish. He has an upgrade for his corrupted version where he gets more powerful. And maybe I'm just biased because I play Word Bears, but it kind of lines up with what they've said. So I do hope it's a new Lorgar model, even though I just got the old one. That's okay.
It's okay.
And then in the winter, we're gonna get Assault Squad, like they mentioned, and a new Mystery Army release. Now I'm not sure if this is a new army. I don't know what else they could cover with Horus Heresy, because all the major players other than Space Marines already have rules. My guess is they might be plastic demons for Heresy that are different style or the different style from the 40k demons and AOS demons. It could be Plastic Mechanica, which would coincide with the 40k AdMech release, or it could be Solar Ox, Plastic Solar Ox. I don't think it's a completely new army that we haven't seen before. I think it's just going to be, or it could be Dark Mechanicum, actually. We haven't seen that. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. It's just going to be a plastified version of things we already have in resin. And we got more characters and upgrades for resin.
Or it's gonna be the orcs.
No, that is not happening. The developers of 30k have, I mean, actually, to be fair, this guy doesn't work for Forge anymore. He moved on, but he did say that Horus Heresy will not get any Xenos because it's not the point of Horus Heresy. But he doesn't work for Forge anymore, so maybe we'll see orcs. I don't know. That would be weird for me, but good for orc players. And in the spring, we'll get a plastic Command Squad, which is great because Command Squad, I think, is one of the best units in Horus Heresy. It's very customizable. You can make them really look like the Legion that they are in, and they're really good on the tabletop. So, kind of happy that that's happening. And some plastic melee weapons. So, looks like they also heard our specific bitching, and they're going to make plastic chain swords instead of those resin ones, or in addition to those resin ones, I guess. And then, like always, more new characters and upgrades coming next spring. So overall, it's a light roadmap in the grand scheme of things compared to 40k or AOS, but I am happy with it. It gives us something to look forward to, and just again, the image above is super cool.
Yeah, it's all very nice stuff, but that was not all that you got for 30K.
No.
You got the Commanders of the Siege of Sithonia,
Yep.
starting with
So we
I don't know how you say this, Verhin Ashuradan.
yeah, you got it pretty much right. The Imperial Fist guy. Oh, sorry,
No,
excuse
this
me.
is
I
the
was
this is
looking at
the
the
Horus
picture. The
Heresy.
Sons of
Or
Horus guy, Baron Ashuradon. He's a new character. Hasn't really been in any novels outside the new novel set in this siege. And I like him. His axe looks like a Stormcast axe, even though it's supposed to be the Eye of Horus. But the model looks cool. It's really blinged out. There's like 10 Eye of Horuses on his armor there. But yeah, I can see myself picking this up for like a Chaos Space Marine project, or if I ever do Sons of Horus. Even though I might pick it up for Sons of Horus because I do plan on doing a first company force with a new. I did pick up the new Horus model, so I do want him in an army. So I like this guy quite a bit, actually.
it's a very nice looking model, as you said, very blinged out.
Yeah. And we got the Lord Castellan Evander Garius, the Imperial Fist commander for the siege. He once again Imperial Fist get another character. They have a bunch already, and he is big. He's chonky, and he's got a fist like he should.
As he should.
I I do like him. Very interesting design with the Volkite. You don't see that much where it's an underslung Volkite on his off arm in Terminator armor. And kind of like the corpse as well that's been shot with the Volkite gun. And got a power fist point. He's doing something cool with it. He's pointing, telling the people where those dastardly Sons of Horus are. Yeah, I like him. I mean, some people don't like that it's more stuff for Sons of Horus and Imperial Fists, but for me, it's more heresy. I can't complain. I actually, if I play these armies, I would instantly pick these up. There are resin though, unfortunately.
See, that's what stops me every time. Forge World resin. That's
Forge World resin.
it's just the best way to kill a model for me. But and then they also gave us a little teaser video, which I assume these two models were a part of the encoded transmission.
So this is. All right, I'm gonna cuss. This shit is fucking hype. This is epic 30K. This is happening. The the stars are aligning. The YouTube video makes fun of the scale. The Facebook post makes a pun for the scale. Yes, this is epic 30K. This is the future of Adeptus Satanicus. We're gonna have tiny space marines the size of smaller than your thumb, and you got your titans from AT. This is so hype, dude. Like, oh man, I can't wait for the models. They're gonna look tiny, but just having 1,000 space marines on the table. Oh my gosh, so cool.
Well,
I
I'll
mean,
have to
you
take your
remember
word on
Epic,
that.
right?
I have never seen Epic, but back when our old GW was in the mall, I do remember looking at the catalog where we used to order bits and seeing the Epic models in there. But no one at our store ever played Epic, at least that I saw. So
Right.
I've never seen a game of Epic at all.
All right. Well, you're about to because I'm playing this instantly. I actually already have some Epic models painted. Me and my friends or Donnie printed some for us. He printed because we were gonna do it a while ago, but fan rule sets are hard to kind of push. But I have a couple of Heresy tanks painted in the Sons of Horus colors, and I got my Adeptus Titanicus army, which is going to be usable for this. So I am super excited to have my Titans back on the table with some Space Marines the size of ants around their feet. Oh man, this gonna be so hype. This is more hype than the main Horus Heresy game for me. Because again, for me, Horus Heresy is about those massive, apocalypse style battles, but the game just doesn't work in that large of scale. So being able to have a game designed to have these massive armies in the battlefield is super cool to me. So holy fuck, I am super excited.
There you go.
Yeah.
Potential Epic game coming back.
Unless you
That
like Xenos, in which case, I'm sorry. Play Space Marines.
All right, then. Well, that is that. And now we're on to the last day, which was just Kill Team. So looking at the first thing that we got here, we got the new box set, Ashes of Faith, where we got Inquisitor Retinue versus generic Chaos Cultists. And so looking at the Inquisitor squad here, you know, not bad. You know, it's very unique. Some of this stuff I could see me using in my Redemptionist army if I really wanted to, which is how well some of it fits in. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the look of the Inquisitor retinue here.
Same. I'm so tempted in getting and painting it because at some point in the future I'll play with the 40k RPG, not the a 40k RPG again, and these will be perfect for that. A bunch of random misfits, and the settings of 40k RPGs usually harken to an Inquisitor and their friends, friends being their lackeys. So
yeah, friends is a strong
this is
word
perfect
there.
for that. Friends is a very strong word.
Yep, and that is that. We don't really need to talk about the chaos because it's just
More of the same. But
more
I
of the
mean,
same.
you're gonna be in there, so.
Yep.
Did you watch the video
I did not.
that teases the new season?
Oh, season new season.
Oh, it's
Yes,
not. Is it a different? I think it's a different. Maybe it's in a different
yes. It's
article.
it'll be the last thing we talk about.
Okay,
I
got it.
think yes, because the next thing is the Kill Team with the Space Marines, the Heroes as they're calling it, Warhammer Heroes, which is just generic Space Marines. That's all it looks like to me. I don't really see anything special here. So I don't really know the reason why they did this, but I know the hero line is popular. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I do like that they tie it to kill team, so you could kind of use your models for something other than just slotting them in your 40k units.
mm-hmm.
I do like them. I really want to pick them up. Honestly, the poses are so cool. I just like the idea of different kinds of space marines in one unit. So I'm really tempted to pick them up, but I don't know. It depends on what the price is for all of them. But yeah, I will say that the article confirms that just because there's a captain in Kill Team doesn't mean Commanders is coming back for Kill Team. They're
Thank
trying
God.
to go away from that. I know, right? Thank goodness. But yeah, I really like these. I kind of want them, to be honest, man.
They don't do anything for me.
That's fair.
I mean the sniper looks good, but everything else I could care less for.
That's fair. Yeah, I really want to pick them up and paint them. Maybe Dark Ages, maybe something else. I don't know, but yeah, I'm a fan for sure.
We'll have to wait and see. I don't think they did. Yeah, okay, no roadmap. And then the last thing is we get a video for what lies ahead. So this video, yes, I did see this video.
Okay.
So, what lies ahead, John?
It's what you said. No, we didn't see any models, but it seems that the setting will be some kind of nature jungly setting. It seems, or like in the outside.
That's right. I did say that. New box set. Oh, I was wrong on the new box set that was revealed. Because I did say
Yes.
it was going to be Catachin.
Now, to be fair, they did kind of cheat because it's the end of the old season or the current season, not the new season. So I think well, let's stick with our prediction with Kanachan versus Nids for the new season box.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah, so not much there, but they did give us a roadmap. The roadmap is on this one. So we got Galadar, which is up for pre-order this week. Then Ashes of Faith. Individual team releases. I don't know what that means. I assume it's just gonna be like random White Dwarf armies. Kill Team Annual, and then New Season in Autumn, and New Season in Winter.
Oh, you know what? The individual team, I think it's gonna be the Beastmen and Squats by themselves.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, now I think about it, because I was like, oh, there won't be any individual teams. Oh wait, actually, those guys are coming out. So
Beastman Squats, and then the Inquisitor team, most
yeah,
likely. So that is the roadmap for Kill Team, and that is it. That is all the Warhammer Fest news, all the Warhammer news for today on May 1st. Overall, pretty good. I liked it. Though really anything coming out of GW is pretty solid. So I'm happy. A lot of stuff that I don't even play, 30k, a lot of good stuff. Old World has my hopes up. Will I get into it? Probably not. But if it is good and catches on, at least I already have my fantasy army ready to go. AOS, I mean, is whatever. Just a bunch of ghouls, orcs, goblins, and Sigmarines. So all armies I do not play, but hey, at least you guys are getting something. But of course, the real winner in my heart, 40k. Because I am so hyped for 10th edition coming out now. But you, John, what did you think of Warhammer Fest?
I loved it. Every game I play got something cool. Even Warcry, I like those ghouls. AOS obviously got the new Cavaliers for Age of Sigmar, or sorry, for Age of Sigmar. Super excited about that. 40k, getting the box set. Glad to see those Stern Guard and the new Terminator Captain and all the new Tyranids are super cool. 30k, new Mark III and the Plastic Daredeo plus Epic. So yeah, hype for that. Old World, hey man, if Empire are there, and people play it, I'll get into it. Like you said, if ultimately it comes to if I know people who are gonna play it, whether it's you guys or the local game store, it all depends if people end up playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Kill Team is neat. I like the new Space Marines and Warcraft Underworlds is cool models. Yeah, I don't think there was a dud overall. And there's no Blood Bowl announcement.
That's the easy dub right there.
Yeah, right.
Alrighty then. Well, we've been going on for a while. Have you been doing anything hobby wise?
Yeah, I've been super busy with work, so I was only able to get one 30k game, I believe yesterday. Played my buddy who was playing Word Bears and playing my Blood Angels. And super fun game. We tried the Goonhammer missions, custom missions for more like match play type games. And yeah, it was a super close game. I thought it would not be as close as it turned out to be. So yeah, I was super cool putting my Blood Angels back on the table again. Haven't done that in a while. Been playing with my Word Bears and Mechanicum recently. And yeah, I do miss the Angels Sons, and I kind of want to maybe after these Word Bears, if I have time before 10th, I might paint a unit or two for my Blood Angels.
There you go. For me, I did. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, I played some Shadows of Brimstone. Uh, Surprise, surprise, we got our asses kicked yet again because they wanted to play a mission that was not for our level, but it is what it is sometimes. We almost won. We almost did,
Ooh,
but unfortunately the cards were a bit stacked against us. That was fun. Painting wise, I didn't really do too much painting, to be honest. I think I only painted one model from Shadows of Brimstone, and then I was just too busy with work to do anything else. But this week. I'll buckle down and I'll get more things done. In terms of what we're gonna do this week, I think we're gonna dive into a board game called Betrayal of the House on the Haunted Hill or something like that. I think is
Oh
what
yeah,
it's called.
that's a super classic board game.
Yeah, I played the first edition. This is gonna be third edition, so I don't
Yeah,
really know how much has changed, but we're
I've
gonna give
heard a
that a
lot of good
shot.
things about third. Yeah, I heard it's more streamlined, so it should be a good time.
Perfect. So yeah, we're gonna get into that this week. But other than that, it's just gonna be hobbying down, bunkering down, and getting my hobby done. Because, like I said last week, I got that email. It's beginning of May. My Shadows of Brimstone should be shipping out any day now. Fingers crossed. I better not get an email saying it's getting delayed again. But yeah, that's that's what's happening with me. Anything you want to add before we close up here?
Nah, I'm gonna have a Legion tournament on the weekend, so that should. I haven't got any practice games, so with the new list I want to play, so maybe I'll just play my other list that I played once. So yeah, but we'll report next podcast how it went.
Perfect, perfect. All right then. Well, everyone, I'd like to thank you all who made it to the end, and we'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.